Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Low Code Hour. If you're a regular around here, you might be confused because today I have with me Lorna, who happens to be the host of the Developer Drop-In, which happens every other Wednesday, except not today. So welcome, Lorna.
It's the wrong Wednesday, but I'm super excited about today's topic, so thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining me. To be fair, today's topic is going to be a little bit of a combination as well, because I wouldn't necessarily call it low code or no code. So we're making a little bit of low code hour meets developer drop-in in here. And today's topic is Postman. We're going to have a look at it and see how the interface looks like, how we can make requests with it. And then we're going to show you something exciting that we've been working on. Well, Lorna?
I think it was my idea and Julia did the work. It's kind of how this panned out. I mean, look, it works for me.
Well, you did the heavy part of it, and then I poked around and used things that weren't supposed to be used in certain ways, but they worked out in the end. So
yeah,
that would be.
We have the Postman account in chat, so I think I'm not exactly sure who's driving that today, but I'm sure you will love what we did with the scripts that you never intended to play.
Well, I kind of missed out on the testing part.
It is all good. So I guess, do you want to introduce Postman if anyone is new to the tool? I feel like lots of people do use it. It was our Lemmy. That was my guess, mostly for time zone reasons. You want to introduce Postman, like what it is and why we thought we needed to do more with it?
Right. Well, you're probably better on the tooling part. And I was quite new to Postman a couple of months ago. But long story short, I would present it as an API client. It's a really friendly. Actually, let me just open it up because it's easier to present it that way.
A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Exactly. I'm a visual learner. So this would be their website. But what I wanted to show you is the application.
Awesome.
Which currently is, well, an empty instance because I cleaned it beforehand. So that wasn't the best call of them all. But you can make API requests in here, which is 1,000 times easier than fiddling around with your command line. Take it from a person who used to own the GitHub username command line my nemesis. That's how I started my development career.
Listen, if you want a Cal tutorial, we can cover that, but I feel like Postman's a little bit more mainstream.
Possibly. But yeah, and after starting to use it, I realized it was so much more than that. So yes, it is excellent for making HTTP requests, excellent for exploring an API that you haven't seen before and trying to make sense of it. But then you can have a lot more fun features in there, which I wasn't aware of until we started putting together our own collection. So what was your first experience, opinion experience with Postman? Like,
I can't really remember beginning with Postman. It's been around quite a long time, and I've been in the API space quite a long time. But as I just kind of alluded to, I'm definitely more of a curl user, and that's partly because it's available on every platform, and I'm more of a command line kind of girl. Postman isn't amazing for accessibility, but it is amazing for usability, and I really think it is a low-code tool, especially in this situation. Like we agreed, we should look at publishing a collection of our APIs. And actually, you really don't need to be able to code. You need to have some understanding of the concepts. But I think even if you do code, this is one of those tools where for everybody, it's a quick way to get started, regardless of whether you're later going to do more code-oriented stuff or not. So I think, yeah, I guess I've always used it as a way of kind of approachability-ing APIs and those kind of like web calls and that kind of thing. So it's really, really good for that. And I've always kind of just assumed that, Vonage has great API documentation. We're really proud of our docs. Wouldn't you just go and read the documentation and make an API call? And that's what I initially would have used Postman for.
Yep. So taking it a step back, when you said about it being low-code-ish, I figure you're right with that, because whatever low-code tool we've used here before, you still need to understand a little bit of logic and what you're doing. And then I feel it's the same way with Postman as well. You don't really need to go deep down, although you can, and make some really fun things with it, which we're hopefully gonna get to.
I was gonna say today. You made a fun thing. You had fun with this.
I like a take on low code as in using or making low code. So I feel like even if you go down the rabbit hole, the end user has a low code experience.
Yeah.
So how about we have a look at, as you mentioned, looking at the developer documentation and just first-hand experience of making a request with Postman.
Yeah, let's do that, because I think it's a really good introduction to Postman and how easy it is to get going. We'll just say hi to everybody in chat. We see a few of you. You should jump in if you have questions or other tips to share. I feel like I normally learn at least as much as I convey when I do these streams, whether that's technically on my own show or technically on Julia's show.
Well, you're always welcome. So,
well, I think you've been my guest as well, so we're just like the Wednesday crew.
Yep. Well, every Wednesday you get lucky.
Awesome. Okay, so can I choose? My favorite API is Verify.
I wouldn't have guessed.
Is that a tiny touch of sarcasm that I detect?
To be fair, I started being quite fond of Verify as well.
Yeah, well, and for the bystanders, within the developer relations team, we have individuals who are like have a specialist API. So like I have one API that I'm like most emotionally attached to, and I take care of its examples and its documentation and just the edge cases of its things. And for me, that's Verify. So yes, it's my favorite. Also, it means that I can hilariously challenge you to make a second API call within 5 minutes of the first, which I just think is brilliant. So I'm setting you up for a little bit of drama after you make the first API call.
Remember,
I knew you'd be pleased.
Stream together. When I imposed the 5-minute time window. Yes, that's right there as well. So I am guessing we're going to the API reference.
I think so. And so, I mean, we have like overview documentation, but since we're here, Verify is our, you can verify that a user does own the phone number. So if you want to make sure that they're giving you valid contact details, that you need to be able to contact this user again by telephone, or you want to confirm that they own a number because you're going to text a 2FA code to that phone number, Verify is the API for that. So it's two-step, you request the PIN, and then you check that the user gave you the right PIN. So that's why there's 2 steps. So if we go to the API reference, And we're just going to request a verification, which I think is the first.
Yes, that would be the first
API endpoint.
Okay. So now Postman. So I have a completely empty account. I just created it.
That's fine.
Today.
Probably make a new collection and then you can start adding stuff to it.
We're gonna call this test.
naming things is hard.
That's the most testing I tend to do.
No, that's fine.
Okay, no. Okay. The low code error test. Right. Description.
Yes, for demo purposes.
Do we want to set up things in here? Or just...
I think we should just make a request, but I would love to come back and talk about variables later.
All right.
How's that?
So we're going to leave these steps for now, right?
Yes.
Good. So we're just creating it.
And
now adding a request. So at this point, I'm going to be extremely creative and copy paste the description from the docs.
Well, hopefully that's a good thing to have. Yeah, cool. Yeah, fine.
So this one?
Yeah. And I think that was the default as well. So if you just clicked on the big button, it would have done that.
Yes. And I'm opening that up. And we'll start with the request URL. Should I replace? So it's going to be a post request. Should I zoom in more?
Yeah, I think if you can, or maybe make the Postman window full screen. And maybe zoom in a little bit more. I think maybe it's me with my aging eyesight. I find this stuff difficult. That is beautiful. Let's do that. Okay.
Great. So it's a post request.
It's a post request.
It's written in the documentation.
Like that.
And format.
So when you pasted that, in the parameters tab just below, it gave you the format variable. I just saw it pop up when you did it. So I think you can fill that in there.
In here.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I haven't noticed that before. That's really neat.
That is neat indeed. Okay, so down to the parameters.
Yeah.
The format will be either JSON or XML.
Okay.
So we go with JSON.
JSON, please. I mean, I think it's quaint that we still support XML in some of these older APIs, but I vote JSON.
And then request body. So we're going over to the body. And it does not have a body, so...
Yeah, it's form URL encoded, the long one. That one, yeah.
Perfect.
And now you get to copy and paste all of the field names. I can do this. API underscore key, API underscore secret. Yeah. Number.
Oops.
I think you have a space in front of API key. Yeah, good spot. Country. Number. Oh no, not country. Number and brand.
Oh, okay. I thought I deleted it.
Okay. No, it's scrolled, I think.
Okay.
And if
So
you're in
number.
chat, and this looks familiar to you, or if you have an alternative favorite tool, I would love to hear about that. We've been pretty hands-on with Postman, and we spotted a member of Postman staff. So I would love to hear what your favorite tool is, Arlemi, but I can guess. I think that'd be really interesting to hear. Brand, yeah. You don't need country.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just keep it to the required fields. Postwoman, that's a good recommendation. Thank you, Manik Andaraj. I've heard that one a few times. I haven't actually tried it yet, but I often feel like it gets a mention. So if anyone's looking for an alternative, then, give that one a look. Cool. Are you ready to start putting values in?
Yes.
This is the moment where we share our creds on stream, which is an important part of every stream that we do, where somebody shares their creds. Excellent. So API key and secret from the dashboard. Arlemi says, Postwoman is now called Hopscotch. I did not know that.
I did not know that either. Maybe we should check it out. Right.
API key. Yes. API secret. And we've already set the calendar reminder to tell you that you have to change it when we finish streaming.
I mean, that's secure.
Oh, I see. You set a really high standard of security this week, I see. Excellent.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the phone number and the brand will be the text that comes before the PIN code.
Yeah, so when you get this message from Verify, it'll say in the message who it is that you're confirming the PIN for. So you should recognize that, oh yeah, I'm on that company's website right now. So it just lets you know who that is that you're... That's cool. I'm not sure if it supports spaces, but I guess we'll find out.
I believe it doesn't, but we'll see.
Hopefully, at least the error messages will be good. All right, press send. Let's see what happens. Oh, you got a 200 okay, but that doesn't mean anything. Scroll down. You might want to pull the thing that you made more space above. Oh. That's it.
Missing API key.
Well, I can see it. I wonder what that sent.
So I did not get nothing. And it's a 200, which is interesting.
Verify returns 200 for everything. It's so old it supports XML and returns you 200 for everything. The status code tells you it's an error. RLME says save the request. I do see a save button next to the send button. See if that helps. Nope. Huh.
Also, that's a secondary API key I have in there. I wonder if someone decided I don't need it anymore.
I don't think so. How can I see what this sent? because I wonder if it didn't send the API key or if we have white space around it or something. Try to open the console and see what's sent. Give me a clue. Oh, I can see the word console right at the bottom now. All right, yeah. User agent, request body. That looks like a request body to me.
Okay, let me quickly take the
content type. I'm just reading the chat. So first of all, that is super interesting. I had not seen that before, that console thing. That's a really good debugging tip. So like, yay, I win. I already learned something about Postman today because I'm here going, how do I inspect this? And now I know. That's really cool. There's a suggestion that we might be sending application JSON as a content type. Do you want to have another look in the console? No, that does look right, doesn't it? Huh. It's like, what thing could we be doing wrong? We definitely hit the end point. That's definitely a verified type error coming back at you, but it hasn't understood what you've sent.
Let me double check just to make sure that it's not my.
It's not your creds.
Yes.
Okay, well, try not to screen share your real creds would be my first piece of advice. I mean, I don't mind. I've done it often enough, right? I'm just having a quick dig around because obviously I work with verify loads, but I guess I don't normally hand create it. Request verification. Send. Oh, well, I did something really wrong there. Show me the body tab again. Mine looks different, although you did just download, so maybe you have the newest version of the tool or something.
Yeah, let me revert because putting in the real creds doesn't help.
Okay. That's reassuring though, that it doesn't, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, this sound is me just checking if I can do it here and then play spot the difference with what you have. Okay. All right, so I can make it work. So what does my console look like? Yes, that noise is me making it work. Indeed. Indeed. Reassuring for me. Yeah, very reassuring. All right. So I have content type. Yes. Can you show me your console? It's a post to go right to the top. Keep going. Yeah, okay. So a post to https://api.nextmail.com verified JSON, yes. With content, my content type is first, but it is still application form URL encoded. So that seems legit. Okay, I think we're sending a reasonable response. How does your request body look? Yeah, mine looks like that. And the response headers also look like that. Okay, can you change your brand field to be simpler?
Yeah.
I don't think it should trip up the validation, but I could sort of imagine if it did. Also, while you do that, I just want to go back a bit because there's a cool comment in chat that I completely missed, also from Manik and Raji. If you are using Emacs, there's a REST client package, which I find quite simple and clean. Yeah, so I think, thank you. I think there's a few of these built into different APIs or different types of tools where there's like a little bit of REST client built in or a little bit of HTTP or API client built in. And I think that's quite nice. And it's a good kind of first stop until you come here to like a fully fledged tool. So I think it's cool. And perhaps the tools that you have are a really good place to start. Did this help?
Not on my end.
Well, how have you broken it? That is... I am mystified. Go and take out the API key field. And now, like, add it again or something. You pasted this.
Oh, yeah.
And it definitely had some weird formatting around it before. So is it that simple? Probably not. Nope.
No?
Nope. It's weird. Huh. Well, I'm really disappointed because I wanted to show you a cool thing. And it's just not there at all. How to make an API request with Postman. We can't.
So
it works for Arlemi. Yeah, it works for me. I mean, I already had the stuff imported, so I'm not really sure what we've done wrong. But maybe we could try importing the requests because that's how I would usually do it.
okay. So they delayed this one.
Yeah. Well, just leave it there, and we'll because when you import, you get a new collection anyway, so we can just leave stuff lying around. Arlemi says that you are using 7.26. Later one is 7.34. Yeah, no, I don't think it'll be a version thing. I suspect if we stopped streaming and had another look, it would immediately start working. So what I wanted to show you anyway, I'm going to show you. Where you were on that API reference, you can download the OpenAPI description. And I normally, from the API reference, just download the description and then import it into Postman. And so if you're not familiar with OpenAPI, it's a machine-readable description language to describe all the different endpoints. And we make our documentation from the API description. So you can make documentation or you can make a Postman collection. So let's do that. It's the big black button.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Import. X is here. Hello, Exy. Happy Wednesday.
Hello,
Good to see you. We are attempting to get Postman organized to import You can't find your file.
No, it was in there.
It was here, definitely.
That's
Found it.
Perfect.
Fantastic. I mean, yeah, I just click the input button. There are options.
Link this collection as
Just a collection. I don't know. Generate a collection. Yeah, you definitely want to generate a collection. And then I don't know. Yeah, just click the import button. It's probably fine. I don't remember there being options here, so this might be a new feature. Yeah, cool. Cool. So you've got a folder called Verify API.
And there is the request verification, and it has 9 headers instead of 8.
It has 9 headers instead of 8.
Let's see. So body.
So you don't need all these fields.
Should I just disable them?
Yeah. Feature request for Postman. Can you please not tick the box on the optional fields? Or could you make the box focusable by keyboard? So I can't untick the fields. All right, let's have a go then with your API key and secret. And number and brand.
I'm just wondering if the copy pasting was an issue with the label. Might have been an issue with the value as well.
Well, if the value is wrong, then I'd expect you to have the access denied, your creds are invalid, not your creds are missing. So yeah. I'm less worried about that. I mean, now we've got a recording of me saying what's definitely not gone wrong. There's a I feel like maybe I've jinxed us. Bald Bearded Builder is here. Is she taking over all the streams on this channel? As many as you want, my dear. Yeah. I'm just popping in to hassle Julia. She's doing all the work. I'm just here for decoration and keeping her company. Brought my cup of tea, causing a bit of trouble. You know, the usual.
Right. And now send.
You probably need to set the JSON on the parameters tab.
Yes, I do.
Here's a thing that I do wrong about 1 time in 2. That's what makes me an expert.
Okay. So status 0, that means
yay!
It's a good one.
Yes.
Did you get text? I have a really tiny text in the right upper corner in there.
Yeah, we believe you. We believe you. Okay, so now your 5-minute timer challenge starts now because your PIN code is only valid for 5 minutes. So the first thing you need to do is you need to copy that request ID. Okay, and we're going to do verify check, and you're going to do the second step. So JSON again, yeah. How quickly can you fill in all these parameters? Not the IP address, everything else. Go, go, go.
You scared me.
Yes.
And I have one less field now.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how to get it back.
Where it says key at the bottom, you can just type a new
oh yes,
field
right.
Field name. I'm really sorry.
So was it the request ID?
Request ID. I was just trying to add to the pressure. Now you're deleting things, which also works.
I mean, what could go wrong?
I mean, look, if you can do it with this going on, then you could probably do it anytime. Okay, and then whatever was in your text message.
Right. Was that all?
Yep. Press go. Scroll down. Where's the response? There you go. Ta!
There we go.
It's a
Okay.
bit more of a mission if you don't have Postman to help you.
For the first time ever, I beat the clock.
Despite being derailed by the antics of your co-presenter. That's lovely. I see Exie saying in chat, it's hoodie weather. It is hoodie weather. That's a really good way to describe it. It's kind of grim. Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. Okay. Cool.
Although it's sunny.
Yeah, you have an interesting lighting effect going on.
That's a first.
Okay, yeah. I was just going to climb around and try and sort that out. Okay.
Yeah.
Fixed.
That's
cool.
Sunshine for the first time in a week.
No, it's just proper grey here. I can sort of see the sunset between the rain clouds and the hills, just a little slice of it. Yeah, it's not good. Anyway, cool. So you imported from the OpenAPI collection. So that saves us from any copy-paste errors. I actually don't know what we did wrong the first time, but it's quite a good example of what happens often is you try and copy something over and something's missing or misspelled, or we have an invisible white space, or I don't really know, something happened. When you do the import, it's already made. So you just fill in your creds and then you're able to beat the clock. Because
but it's still a little bit stressful trying to beat the clock.
It's only stressful because you invited someone that was going to make loud noises and distract you while you were trying to do some serious work. So that was pretty cool. And for a long time, that's how I liked to use Postman, is to say, oh, we have these API descriptions. You should just import the OpenAPI description and it'll give you this ready-made collection in Postman, and Postman's lovely, and that is everything that you need. However, then I had this idea, and Julia did most of the work, of making a Postman collection that added some stuff. So what do we add for verify?
So the first thing is back to these.
Oh, yeah.
API key and API secret. Now, in this in this collection, I would need to put that in 5 times. I believe if we import all of the Vonage APIs and endpoints, that would be 60.
It's something like that. A lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Definitely a lot. So I would like to get rid of that first, which is quite easy because there is a environment that you can set. So you can set variables in Postman, which is extremely useful. They could be environment variables, collection level variables, and
folder level.
Folder level.
Because in our big collection, we have a folder for each of the products. And I think for verify, I put it on the folder level.
So for this, would you like me to try the folder level then?
I think for your API key and secret, which you might want to use for other APIs, like this is your Vonage creds, I think the environment is absolutely the right place to put it.
All right. So it's really handy that if I select the value, then a set as variable option pops up.
Yay!
And we'll select it as set as a new variable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure what my dictionary is doing in there. And we'll call it API key.
Sounds like a plan.
Scope. Now this is when you select global environment or collection level. And it's going to be an environment, which I'm not allowed to do from here.
You haven't got an environment set up yet.
Because I don't have an environment yet.
Okay.
So
let's set up an environment so we can attach things here. The reason that I really like creds in the environment, just while you fiddle about with that. It's the two to the right, the picture of the yes. It used to be a picture of something else, but it's yes. Can you hear the cat bell? That's funny. It's like doing a jig. I'm pretty sure. The reason I like using the environment for creds is because I use, like, you have like a main account and then this secondary account. I have the same. Also, I sometimes use local mock servers, and of course Postman just lets you change the base URLs and change the creds. So I often switch environments between one place and another, and this makes it really easy. That I've got like a test setup and then like a live setup. So those types of things that you might want to switch between sets of variables, I really like to have those in the environment, especially because I use them across lots of different API groups.
Also, I'm not sure it's intended purpose, but I tend to use the initial value as a descriptor of what the variable is. And then when other people import it, they know what to put in the current value without me exporting my actual credentials. So.
Yes, I feel like we export our actual credentials when we export the Postman collection really reasonably often. Cool.
Okay, no, we already added one. That's good. And now, set as variable. So I'm selecting the environment and then configuring it.
Yeah.
And updating the current value.
Yes.
And update. Let me see if I can add the secret. And scope. Now I can select the environment. So
awesome.
And it really handily updated it so that it pulls in its value, which
that's really neat.
We'll have to do for the API key as well, because now instead of hard coding it, we can pull in the environment variable and we refer to that using, I suppose, master templating, because it looks like that.
Yeah, it's that kind of hug syntax.
And it also autocompletes, so I can select.
It also autocompletes, so that if you are streaming, you will share your real creds in preview with everybody. That has caught me out before, right? It's like I have like a dummy environment, so that I can switch to the dummy environment, do all this setup, and then turn on my real creds, so that I don't necessarily have to rotate them every time I've streamed. So, yeah,
we can possibly do it with the number as well.
Oh yeah, because you're going to use the same phone number on all your different test endpoints. So, yeah, that's a really good thing to include. Awesome.
Brand, well, that's only gonna go through one, so
yeah, I would leave brand. Cool. What else? I'm trying to think. What else did we do when we went from the imported OpenAPI collection? What other things did we add to our Postman collection?
So I can see that it's already added in here that the base URL is a collection level variable.
That's cool.
I think the JSON was also an environment variable.
Yeah, I think it was like a folder variable. So I set it like per API or like per collection rather than in the environment.
So let's say collection level and call it format.
Yeah. That's nice.
Now
it's gone red though.
It's gone red, which brings us to the color of the variables, which is validating them. So if it's red, that means it doesn't have a value yet, but you can still use it. So if I were to go to verify check, and in the body, yes, say the request ID would be, and refer to it as a variable, it will come up red, because at this point in time, I don't have a request ID. But I can save this, also update all these fields with their variable values. Well, code, we're going to have to
type that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, because the only place that's going through is to the phone, so we're going to have to type that in. But just because this is red, and it's going to say it's unresolved variable, that's not an issue, because we can do something about it. So let's see how the request ID comes back.
And when we did the demo, you had to then copy that and then use it somewhere else.
Yes, in a separate request, which, as we could see, it doesn't exactly work like that, because it doesn't recognize it coming from a different request, especially that it's in the return object. But what we can do, in Postman there are pre-request scripts, which is, you can write your JavaScript in here. I'm not exactly sure if, yes, JavaScript. And whatever you write in here will be run before making the request. And then you have your test script, or how I prefer to refer to that as post-request script.
Right.
So whatever you put in there will be run after the request has been made.
Is this
so
when you said you thought you were abusing features?
Yes.
Okay. We'll see if we've upset anybody. Go on.
Right. So what we can do in there is set a collection level variable after the request is made, and save the request ID into that.
Neat. Neat. I like this.
Collection level variable. So there is, I really like Postman's documentation. So if there is someone taking feedback, I really do like that.
I'll make sure we clip you saying that. I think that's nice.
Okay. I'm not going to navigate over. Well, turns out I am. So I think it was in the Learning Center. I know how to write this, so I'm not going to look it up. But
okay. Famous last word.
So the way to set variables is PM, as in. Oh, look at that! I mean,
cool.
It feels like cheating. And then I want to set the value.
The whole of Postman is like cheating because it helps so much.
Exactly. Look at that.
Cool.
I mean, why would you need documentation? Well, you still need it, but that's extremely helpful.
I would not get too adamant about not needing the documentation, maybe until you get to the end. That's my advice.
It's fine. So I want to save the value of request ID, and no, I want to save it into the variable called request ID, And now I want to specify where it's coming from. So it's in the response object, which is going to be PM response. And it's going to be a JSON.
Oh, that's cool. So it's got built-in JSON support.
Yes. And request ID. So fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's now saved.
Right.
If we come back here, it's still red.
Right.
And now we double check we have everything in there and send a request. And it's gone through.
Okay. So we would normally copy this request ID.
Yes, but we are not. Oh, and there is a tiny message in the right upper corner.
That's your SMS integration. Okay, right. We believe you.
And now the request ID is orange.
And that's the value that just arrived, right?
Yes. So now all I need to do in the second request is fill in the code, which is going to be a different one because it's another request. And in this case, that is 3048. And click send. And look at that.
And there it is. Okay, cool. So we could reuse that variable then, like in the search endpoint, for example, that also accepts the request ID. So I would like copy and paste request ID from when I first make the request and get the ID. I use it when I do check, but I also use it when I do search. So can we just reuse the variable?
Yes, so we haven't set it up yet. So format is going to be again JSON. So why is that over? Oh, because there was already one.
Pick a format, any format. Okay. And the rest of the parameters?
Oh, it's a...
No, it's under params because it's a GET request.
Yes.
So you're going to reuse your environment variables and then this collection variable, folder variable, collection variable.
Oops. So for API key and secret, yes. It's going to be...
Got it.
Request ID. Now, this is going to be the collection level variable that we...
No, it's called...
Carried away.
You spelled request wrong. Okay.
No.
And then you don't need those other two parameters. So you can send like an array of request IDs and get a load of responses, but don't.
All right. So that should be good. And yes.
Cool. And that is the same request that you just had. I recognize the first few digits. That's super cool. So with that, if you scroll down there, you can see what happened. So that's the code that you sent, but you can see if someone sent like the wrong pin. And then if you scroll down some more, there's the events. So because Verify has the workflow, you can have like the default, which is what you have is you first get an SMS. And then if we don't get the code from you, we start doing like telephone text to speech. Just it sometimes goes through easier in some places than others. But you have different workflows, so you can kind of see which events happened for a particular request and how much that cost. So it's a really nice endpoint. So that's super cool. So you don't need to you never copied that request ID.
No, that was really nice, and well, that was only one variable right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, parameter, but then there are other APIs where it gets a lot more complicated than that. So I'm really happy to have the option of pulling in variables like that.
That's really cool. I know that you did a bunch of stuff with this on our real Postman collection. So can we go and find that and then maybe bring it in? I don't think you should recreate it all, but I know there's some cool stuff that I would like to see.
So should we just find our Postman collection and import it here?
Yeah, let's do that. I think if you go to explore.postman.com, you'll find us.
All right, let me.
And I will also find us and drop a link straight into the chat in case anyone wants to try our Postman collection, which is, I think, the most fun I've ever had with an API.
I actually have a link for that, so I'll quickly put it in the chat.
Amazing. Because I can't click on anything on this web page. Fail.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Last time I checked, this didn't look like that.
Oh. Yeah, I've got a new interface as well. But then I did this. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Apparently a new version was pushed an hour ago.
Of the collection? Oh, you put... All right, let me... Oh, my God. Okay. Brilliant. Let's do that.
Well.
Okay, so I am going to share this link in chat, which is... I can get any sort of control of my web browser. What?
So I'm guessing I'm looking for the Vonage APIs collection, not the customer org.
Yes. So from the link that I've just posted, if you're playing along at home, yes, I got to here, and then there's the Run in Postman button in the top right-hand side. But it's really cool because it also generates, it takes our imported OpenAPI, which is what we used as the basis of creating this collection. And it keeps a lot of that context in the documentation. But then we added some really nice sort of usability wiring. I can't believe they Postman pushed a new collection. Oh my gosh, we are so well prepared. And then, I don't know, they unleash new sparkle magic on us and it confuses us.
But I'm pretty sure we're the first people to cover it, so.
Yeah, there's like, you can think of it as an exclusive premiere of an amazing new feature. Right, it's a feature, not a bug. That's my story.
I mean.
Yeah. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Yeah, we love it. Alemi, we love it. We just can't find anything, but we do love it. Okay. So if you click that Run in Postman button, I think it will give you the choice to run it in your local Postman.
Yes, it will.
Amazing. Oh, and I think the bot is working. Thank you for following, which is cool because I was not at all watching that. So let me try and fix that. Yeah. Thanks for the follow. Mewtwo made me do it. That the bot likes you. It did work. Well done, Lauren.
All right.
There's all sorts of good and amazing shiny things going on. Okay, how does that look? Okay, so you have the Vonage APIs collection.
Yes, I do. 36 requests, not 60.
Well, yeah, but I only did the kind of like mainstream, generally available stuff that I don't think will change loads. Endpoints in the Postman collection. The beta APIs together, yes, it's a lot. It's a lot of requests. So I think that's about right.
So what do you think we should look at?
So you've already shown off my favorite thing because I use verify all the time. So that with the variable, I love that. But I know you did some other stuff. So like, what was your favorite thing that you did when we worked on this collection? Do you want to show us? Was it in voice?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I've seen some cool stuff here.
I'm not sure I can replicate it without the pre-request and test script.
Okay, perfect.
And for some reason, the base URL is unresolved, which isn't a great thing to start with.
Yeah, but you will have got the environment imported as well. Go in the environment. Vonage environment, you need to use this one and fill in your creds. So when you get a collection, we export the collection and the environment. And if you edit that environment, yeah, it's got this stuff in it. Oh, and I thought it had the... Ah, maybe those are collection level variables. I am confused. It's like edit or something. All right, but not base URL voice.
I guess we're adding one.
Let's fix that. I'm just writing this down as a list.
And that should be
check the API reference docs for voice. Yeah, that Postman web pop-up of what to run it in doesn't seem to know when you've run it. Mine's very confused.
Okay. We won?
Maybe just api.nextmail.com. How much is after the placeholder variable? Yeah, copy that. Let's go and have a look at Postman. Probably that without the white space.
Oh, I don't know why I keep doing that.
And at the end as well.
The end as in...
Here, yes. Look. Yes. Yes. I don't know either, but I've had this problem copying from the API reference stuff, so I think it's just a formatting thing.
So update. Now that has turned orange, so we're good. And I need to set my Vonage environment.
Mm-hmm.
This one. And now I'm gonna need... Where's my dashboard?
That's it, and get your creds again.
Come on. Over here. Okay.
Is anyone else publishing Postman Collections or consuming Postman Collections? Is this something that you use a lot? I guess I'm interested in hearing from the chat. I have myself started using a bit more of the run-in Postman when I see it, now that we have ours, and I'm using Postman more. So it'd be really good to know if anyone else is doing this stuff too.
Well, maybe it's time to try it out, Exie.
Exie! Oh my gosh! Install. Well, I don't think you even need to install Postman now. They have a web version. You can just run it, and it'll run in the browser, and then you can play along with all the stuff that we're doing now too. That's pretty cool. Never heard of a Postman collection. Lost Algorithm says, nah, I use folders of curl scripts. Yeah, I used to as well. I just find other people don't handle them very well. So +1 to folders of curl scripts. Actually, if you were watching all the way through the stream, Lost Algorithm, then you'll have seen that we did, first of all, verify API. I don't even use folders of curl scripts for that one. I just incant because it's like, I don't know, 4 parameters or something. It's faster to type than it is to find the script. Yeah, that is awesome. And Exy doesn't do much with APIs. Well, I feel like that could change. Exy, you know, you're hanging out with a good crowd these days. HTTPie for the win. Yes, I'm a fan of HTTPie. It's pretty good, but the muscle memory for curl is so strong that often I've typed before I've remembered there's another thing installed. Sorry, Julia, I'm having like a great time with the chat. How's it going?
It's going great. Well, I'm happy. Good. So environment is set. As in API key and API secret are in there. I'm wondering whether it's a good time to talk about what the JWT is.
Yes. Sounds good.
Right. So JWT is a JSON Web Token, and we use it for authentication because the Vonage APIs have 2 ways for authentication. One is the basic, which is API key, API secret, and the other one is that requires a voice application, and that. So you could. Okay, I walked myself into this one.
Go on, you're doing fine.
Also, I have bad news.
What's the bad news?
My script is missing.
Why is your script missing?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
weird.
honest here. It gets a little confusing when you use the same account for creating a collection and importing it to check whether it works or not.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've created a second account, it appears that it doesn't import the pre-request script.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe I have it. Hold on. So this is in get create an outbound calls. No, in get calls. No, in create outbound call.
It is in create. Yep.
Yeah, no, I don't have it here either.
Well, I do in other places, but not in this.
All right. Okay. Let me just. Okay. That's my
So
copy. Let me look at the Vonage copy.
Postman, we definitely people have it in the Vonage copy because I'm looking at that one.
Create an outbound call. Pre-request script. Yeah, it's there in the Vonage version, which I have. So I guess my question is just okay. So Alemi just answered my question. My question is something that Alemi can beat me to before I speak the question, despite the Twitch lag. So that's amazing. He says, just imported the one from the API network and no pre-request scripts to be seen. In the team workspace, it's there, and I think that's where we exported from. But I am incredibly confused about which version is where and how to publish a new version. So there's that. Yeah, possibly this is just outdated. I can send you this script, or I guess attempt to just screen share it, if that would be easier.
I'm set for reproducing the script. I just was concerned about.
Yeah, no, I don't want to watch you type this again. But I'm happy to DM it to you if you want it.
I think Apple Magic works. across devices.
Okay.
And if that's the case, then...
So should I put it in the Slack window? Try that.
There we go.
Hello. Excellent.
So I think before getting into what I did in this pull request script, it would be best to go through, well, to think through the steps that one would need to take to make an outbound voice call.
Right. All right.
So
okay.
first,
So I'm just reading that. So if we haven't set the JWT, you're going to do that as well here. Amazing. Cool.
yes. So it's checking whether there is a JWT, and if there is none, then it creates one. Well, first of all, we would need to create a voice application. This is the kind of authorization we use, well, oath we use for the voice API. And we would use the applications endpoint. So we would need to come to the application API and make a create an application request.
Right.
And then this would happen.
That's riveting.
And
okay, good.
And then we would come back. So once you create an application, it gives you back the private key, I believe, and with the private key and the JWT,
Right, yeah. So when you create an application, it gives you an application ID and a private key pair. You can upload a public key if you don't want to have your private key going over the wire. I don't feel strongly about it, so usually I let it do that. Give me the application ID, give me the private key. You save both of those things, and they are the ingredients to make the JSON Web Token that most of the voice API calls use.
Okay, so what this is doing is I'm making another request before making the request. So instead of going and making it manually a couple folders above in here, I am pulling in that code into the pull request script. So it's making a post request to the applications endpoint. And well, this is grabbed from the code snippet. Now, the interesting bit is it's going to capture a private key.
Yeah, so you're making this request, and then where does the response keep going? There it is. This is handling the response. Yeah.
So then this is another request going to we're generating the JWT.
Super secret serverless function. That's really cool.
Which is more of an in-house one, but it's completely functional, and you're welcome to use it. Because I couldn't find a service that would handle it in a way that we needed, that being that algorithm.
That's pretty neat. We should drill into this one week. Yeah.
So it needs the private key to generate the JWT, and it is grabbing it from the previous request's response object.
Mm-hmm.
And it is setting the value of JWT from the response object of the second request.
Awesome.
Not sure if any of that made sense.
Let me see if I understood. So if the JWT is not set, then we create an application, get the JWT and application ID, send them to a secret serverless function to get the JWT. So we've got the JSON web token that we need to authenticate against the voice API. And then we go ahead and create that outbound call.
Yes. Well,
cool. Well, then it was a good
the
explanation.
outbound call.
I understood.
Okay. We're creating the outbound call with the request itself, and then whatever was before that is in the pre-request script.
Okay. So there's some magic here. And then we also need to set up the request, I guess, tell it what phone number to phone.
Exactly. So if we have a look at the request body, we're going to need a number. So I'm not sure if variables should be in between.
Yeah, it looks like it.
What I was trying to achieve.
It thinks the thing. No, it doesn't.
I'm sure there is a way to refer to variables in here. I'm just not sure if it was. In between episodes.
There we go. Postman use variables in Postman body. Oh, I think maybe you can refer to that PM value.
PM get.
Is it, if it's not auto-completing for you, then.
Oh, it's not.
No, I'm just still. Can I put it in a body? Or can you like write? Does it give you the set as variable option? No.
So it does give me a set as variable option. So let's see it that way. So set as variable, and then new variable, maybe number, and scope environment. Okay, so it looks like that.
Okay. You don't look very convinced.
We'll see about. No, I am not, but we'll see. So that's the to number. The from number will have to be one of my Vonage numbers, which are those attached to an account or to an API key?
You can attach a number to an application, but it will need to be one. If you're using your sub-account key, then you need to use your sub-account key here.
Right. So it didn't change the list of numbers I have, which is good.
Okay, yeah, let's try and just pick one that you don't need, and then maybe we can edit it.
Okay.
I'm just having a little look at whether I can update what we published to try and include the scripts that I see, but I'm just very confused by the web interface. So I think I need to sit down and properly dig through how the Postman team workspace documentation, publish, share, export thing works, because I might need a diagram, frankly. I'm a little bit confused. I'm sure the docs are great. I just haven't read them. So there's that. So Jefferson's here. Hey, Lorna and Julia, what are you working on? We are showing off our Vonage API Postman collection that we made quite recently that we think is fun. And Julia is just sharing her secrets of how she wired together some amazing stuff. I was like just happy to publish the API endpoints. This is like next level.
Also, if you're looking for a more cohesive version of this, then I think I put in there commands. Yes, of one announcing the collection and the other one with the things that we're trying to achieve right now, which is using variables and scripts to make things easier for other people and slightly confusing to ourselves.
No, I think it's cool.
Right. So there's so many things that could go wrong here.
It's fine. You're doing fine. I think it's interesting. Right. So like I didn't know that there was the pre-request stuff. And I just love how much you can do with it. Like 2 other API requests. I mean, why not? And then the test, or as we're now going to rename it, the post request script is also pretty cool. You know, because that kind of what we just did with the make a request, save one of the fields from the response into a variable, and use that again in the next request. I feel like that's a really common pattern, and it's one of the big things that and only adding your creds in one place is one of the big wins of having the collection over just telling people to import the OpenAPI. Apart from no one did import the OpenAPI as well. People do understand run in Postman. So I feel like it's been a real enabler for loads of people that, and I did not appreciate how many people would use Postman and enjoy that. So yeah, I've learned loads already.
Definitely. So another thing I didn't mention is in the test section, which is the post request script. We need to add something that will take the JWT out. In case something goes wrong. Because in the pre-request scripts, we're saying if there is no JWT, then generate. So this is what we would like to see if it was successful. There will be a unique voice call identifier that we want to save for the rest of the requests that we would make using the voice API. But in case something goes wrong, then we would want the JWT to be unset. So I'm going to quickly update this as well to have one more thing that
it's like a little bit of stream-driven development. I love it. It's all good. And yeah, so we've written some content that if you're watching, then Julia's just shared a couple of links in the chat there. First of all, just a link to some words and the Postman collection itself. So that's a really good place to get started if you want to get to know Postman or get to know the Vonage APIs. And the second one is a write-up of some of the stuff that Julia is showing you now, where we were hacking on a thing and I asked her to help me. And then the next thing, this thing had bells, whistles. It was basically almost doing my hoovering for me. It's got everything. So I think there's some really good stuff there. And especially if you either publish APIs or if you need to call a set of APIs that doesn't publish a Postman collection, this kind of stuff is a real quality of life improvement. I mean, no disrespect to whoever it was who said they have a folder of curl scripts. That's also valuable. But with a Postman collection, the big thing that's been different for me is within the organization, within the API company, like how many people were like, oh yeah, I want to run in Postman. I mean, all of these product people know how to call API stuff themselves. So do the engineers. But having a shared running Postman collection has been awesome. And then people started coming to us and saying, oh, can I also have this new feature that isn't live yet? Or can you show me how to add this beta product that I didn't originally include in the collection, but everybody wants to see? So I definitely would strongly advocate for creating collections like this and kind of looking to share it. Postman, I mean, look, you can see that we haven't understood the team, publish, workspace, export, share, documentation button settings. But it definitely has features. Even if they redeploy unexpected new features. What are you trying to do? I think I'm just an unlucky charm, Julia, because I was on stream the day that we deployed the dashboard rebrand, and it went from Nextmo to Vonage like in the middle of the stream. And we went, oh, did we do something wrong? Has the CSS gone wrong? Oh no, this is the redesign. Like literally, we loaded a page, we went to the terminal, we came back to the page, and it was different. So I think maybe I just bring this kind of excitement with me. I'm sorry. Try not to spit your drink out. Yeah. So thank you, Postman, for the rebrand excitement. We thought we were quite well prepared.
Well, it's always nice to be one step ahead.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, we're cutting edge. We're showing you before anyone else is showing you. We're the first people to stream the new Postman in Space on Twitch.
Right. So now that we've set all the parameters and variables and scripts, let's just try it and see what goes wrong.
So I want to know what's going on. You're sending an answer URL. So you probably need something at the answer URL.
Yes.
Would you like me to serve you an answer URL?
Or maybe we could do NCCO instead of answer URL.
Yes, we could definitely do that.
I'm guessing this is a time when we should look at the API.
I'd recommend the API documentation. It's much more reliable than I am. So like, let's go there. API reference.
All right. So API reference. That's where we were. Yes.
Calls. Yes.
So we are trying to make an outbound call, which is this one. Great. And then the request body, you can either go with NCCO, which is a call control object, and looks like
that.
This. So that is, you specify an action, and talk is one of the actions that could be. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I'm hoping this is the right link. Yes, this is the NCCO reference. So here you can see all the actions that you could go for and the description, and then how to use them. Also, you could use multiple ones, one after the other. For example, this is a record. Oh, well, selecting it doesn't help with
doesn't.
No. So first, there is a record action followed by a connect action. So I'm guessing this is a phone call that's being recorded, but don't quote me on that. Right. And there is an answer URL when there would be a set of instructions at that said URL, which we are not going to do today. So we are going to specify a call control object.
You just steal that NCCO from the docs if you want. You can ring it up and it'll say hello world.
And I shall do that.
Missing a bracket. Yeah, okay, perfect.
Yes.
Brackets. They're overrated in my opinion.
Okay. So...
Python programmers everywhere would agree with me.
Oh.
Yep,
well,
that looks okay. Did you take the answer URL out?
I did. That formatting is really beautiful.
I'm such a perfectionist. Go on, fix it. Okay. Fix it. I'm not going to ask you to look at it.
At this point, what's happening? Where just?
Where am I? Yeah, there you go. It's all coming together. I quite like the column labels. Does anyone know which is the VS Code plugin that shows the different colors of columns of tabs? I saw that on someone's stream the other week and I thought it looked really good. I need to try and get that one myself. So if you know what it's called, I want to know what it's called.
There is a beautify button.
Where? Oh, yay. Perfect. We love the beautify button.
I'm not sure if that worked or not. I may have just beautified it on my own.
It's perfect. Well, I like it. Look, even if it's not beautiful, if it works, then I'm happy. We're not sure about the placeholder variables, but we can.
Yes.
We'll find out when we run it. We'll find out if that worked or not. And knowing about the console is incredible. So whatever else happens today is fine. Exy says the VS Code plugin I am describing is called Indent Rainbow. So thanks, Exy. I will check that out. Because I definitely need that. Indent Rainbow. I will definitely. I'm not going to try and run it VS Code and stream at the same time. But I will try that out probably on my personal stream later in the week.
Right. So hopefully we should have everything right now.
It's all good. I knew chat would know. It's like I'm supposed to be like showing you stuff, but I'll just ask and probably somebody knows. So Indent Rainbow, I'll give that a try. How do you feel about your create an outbound call request?
Like it's gonna. Well, let's just press the send button and see how it works.
If it works first time, I would worry about you. So let's press the button and see what happens next.
Well, you see, you don't have to worry about me because it's a 400.
It's a bad request. Cool. Let's have a look in the console and see what we sent, because it might be obvious what we did wrong. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so your variables worked. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was hoping it was going to be much more obvious than that. Bad request. Bad request. Did we send the auth creds? Is there like, I can't remember how this works, some sort of header thing? This request is using an authorization helper from the folder voice API. Okay, let's have a look what voice API has then. I do really like this feature that you can set auth and then have everything underneath use it. Is really, really handy. Okay, it's bearer token and JWT isn't set. I wonder if some of the pre-requests didn't work out. Can we add debugging? Does it console log?
It should.
Well, let's give that a try. Ask it to console log things and try and figure out, did it get the application ID? Did it get the JWT? In fact, I've got the noise is 2 different devices sending me a reminder for a meeting, but the meeting was at 4 o'clock. So I don't know why it's sending me, there's no point sending me the reminders now, unless I'm really confused about my time zone. That is not useful.
I'm wondering if that value is gonna work.
Yeah, and just console.log, like, yeah, I'm trying to do this thing. I'm trying to do that thing. Bald-bearded builder is joining in the cascade of devices, all trying to remind me about a meeting at 4 o'clock, which is presumably still going on. So, you know, you'll know when it's finished because people will show up, probably.
I'm guessing just about now.
Yeah, there'll be a sudden invasion. Bald-bearded builder does not believe in time zones. Yeah, I would like to not believe in time zones. They are errors. Oh, the influx is here. Hi, Martin.
Hi.
Awesome. Just run that and see if we get any output before you put loads in. See if we can get it to log
at this point.
Log for us. And it might be obvious already, like how far that's getting. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, well, my sound is going interesting.
Okay. You sound great to me.
You do too, except I have something else in addition.
Okay. I am not sure about, I can't hear any other sounds. In fact, I do not even have the cat doing a jig now because he has gone to watch his automated feeder very closely. Because he thinks something will happen. I mean, it happens at the same time every day, but cats can't tell the time, or this one can't.
Yeah, I
so
did
time zones are irrelevant to cats.
When switching from British summertime back to GMT, I've seen this picture on Instagram with 2 dogs looking at the owner, really upset. So, can you please explain to us how it's not dinner time right now?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have a cat. He's not ours. It's a long story. I have a cat that lives in my house that is in a constant state of, you have forgotten to feed me. I haven't. He has an automated feeder. Genuinely still getting fed just the same every day. Just like every day. He's lived with us for 10 years.
So here's a kicker.
Yeah. He's just a slow learner. Yeah, you're ringing. Whoop, whoop. Did it speak? I've lost you completely, Julia. No, I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. I think I'd like to recommend wired technology. I've moved my desk, so I'm even wired in for internet now. That's kind of amazing. Yes, here we go. Look, she's got a piece of wire. Feel like it's going well. And getting an update on other people's cats in chat, which is fantastic. Yes. Well, you see, so the story of the cat is there is a cat that lives in my house, and he was the cat of my husband's ex-girlfriend, and he offered to look after her cat for 3 years while she went abroad, only she never came back. So the cat is still here. So 3 years, yeah, he's lived with us more than 10 years. It's like 12 years, something like that. But anyway, he's handsome but stupid. Oh, you're back. Hello.
Hello. Dare I ask who that was the description of?
I mean, I feel like it could fit any number of use cases. Maybe I should just keep you guessing. Listen, if the cap fits, you can wear it. Hi, Julia. You made a phone call. How was it?
Hi. So it was great. It was kind of stuck in the loop, but oh well. I kind of asked for Hello World 4 times, so
I did that. So I still want to know whether the console logs would have gone to the console. I mean, I also want to know why it works this time and not last time, but that might be. Oh yeah, cool.
I have a good idea for that.
Go on.
So it worked this time around because the previous one failed. And if the previous one fails, then it unsets the value of JWT all across. So the Vonage environment initially, the JWT, there was a string JWT initial value and current value when importing it.
Yes.
So when in the pre-request script, we were checking for, how do I do this?
Yeah,
we were checking for JWT. There was indeed a value. And then that failed. And since it failed, we unset it. And then the second time around it worked.
But we also learned new debugging skills because you can console.log to the console from this context, which is amazing.
Yes, quite nice. And yeah, there are the steps we were taking. So creating a voice app, generating
the request. I love that you're getting the debug on the intermediate requests as well. That's really nice. Yeah, that's really cool. Amazing. So that's like so much value add on top of what you would get if you just imported the OpenAPI. That I'm super glad that you were up to trying to walk us through this chaos, because it is so powerful and it's really good. And I hope that Postman immediately rebrand their tests script as post request, because clearly that's what it's for. I don't know what they think it's for. That's what I think it's for.
Well, I did write it into a blog post, so it must be true.
Yeah. We can read it on the internet, so it must be true. I mean, that's totally how it works, right? That is awesome.
See, the funny thing about this is that if I now save it and export it, then the next person trying to do that only has to set API key secret to number and from number. I'm not sure why there's 2 of those.
Shh, keep moving.
Because I did it twice, yes. I'll keep moving. And then, all they would need to do is click on send, because all this would already be in there. And of course, if they would want to hear something other than hello world, hello world, hello world, hello world, then you would replace the NCCO.
Just as a minor point of order, the talk action does have a loop feature, should you need it.
It does.
I mean, this was funnier. But
I mean, I'm talented enough to end up on an infinite loop.
I recently developed a library, and I screwed up the loop implementation. And if you send 0, which is the Go int value default, it loops forever. So you can guess what immediately happened while I was working on this feature. Yeah.
I do tend to use the 0 loop, but mostly in Node-RED.
Yes.
Because I can drag and drop fast enough to make up for it.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I'm not sure I can console log fast enough for it.
But if you capture the call UUID, then some of the other endpoints would let you interrupt the speech or hang up the call or whatever. So actually putting it into an infinite loop is quite a nice way of doing it. If the next thing is happening at what I call human speed, then I think that's quite neat. I am going to say hello to Fairlook. Ferl UK, you can read that anyway. Thanks for the follow. Nice to have you hanging out with us, Postman and Geeky Things, today.
Right, so would you dare to do a infinite loop and trying to stop it on stream?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Okay, so we'll leave it at 1 hello world.
Okay.
And should I quote you on this or check the documentation?
I would read the API reference docs if I were you. Okay. I'm reasonably reliable, but so it's going to be in the NCCO, not the API reference. That was a rubbish piece of advice.
And the talk. All right. Loop. And
set to 0 to loop infinitely. I mean, at your risk. You could play it safe and set it to 10, but if you want to set it to 0,
I mean,
live on the edge. Why not?
I mean, with the amount of credit I have on the account, I feel like it's fine.
You say that, but I made 2 mistakes on the same day with the voice API, and my account was quite empty after that. So
it's close to empty, so sooner or later it will stop.
Okay, so you can't get into trouble because you haven't got enough credit. If anyone needs credit, check out the coupon code in the bottom right-hand side of the what do you call that? Like the footer of the screen. Grab Possibly. The coupon code. Greg, okay, so even Greg is advising you against this, so you're going to go ahead and do it anyway, I can tell. Look at that. Yeah, she's going to go for it.
Okay, so once we do this, let's just figure out the plan before pressing the button.
Such a revolutionary speaker. Exy says, can I use that coupon code if I used last month's code? You certainly may. Please help yourself. Please watch every month. We'll always have a new coupon for you. Right, so we're going to do hang up.
Right, and hang up is
It is modify an in progress call, I think.
Let's just go back. All right. So these were the NCCO actions. And
yeah, I think it's in this modify and the put method, yeah.
Okay. Hang up.
Hang up. Right. Looks really good.
Action, hang up. All right.
Okay. I feel like we could have had a shot at that, maybe. Benjamin's here saying you should just press the button, so that's fabulous. We always take your advice, Benjamin. We will be pressing the button really soon. So in the modify, I can see that we need to send hang up here. But does it pick up the UUID from our previous request?
So we shall see. Yes, it does.
Nice. Okay, cool. I'm excited. I'm excited about this. It's all good.
So we have UUID.
Yep.
Action hang up.
Mm-hmm.
What could go wrong?
Well, I'd like to find out.
All right, so here we go.
Get ready to put your phone on speaker.
Hello world. Hello world. Hello
Okay.
world.
So that's entertaining.
That's working.
Hello world. Hello world. Hello world.
Yay!
That was fast. All right.
It is fast. Yeah, no, it's pretty responsive. Nice.
Why is it the text? No, it's not the text. It's a...
It's probably a 204 response because there isn't a... Yeah, look, I can see it. I'm trying to point at my screen. That is no use to anybody. If you look where it says 204 no content, yeah, because there's nothing to send back. Like we asked it to do a thing, it did the thing. That's it.
Well, it did hang up, so yay.
Yes. That's awesome. So that's really nice. That's another way of like taking that request ID and wiring it into the next thing that you want to do. That's really nice. Yeah, we're getting some cheering in chat. Thank you, thank you, chat.
Thank you. And we could also look up details. I'm guessing it's the same. Just referring to the
yeah.
What was that? UUID?
Call voice that one. That one.
That one. Auth looks good.
Yep.
And
it's a GET request. Probably don't need anything else. We got 200, which for voice is a really good omen. We talked earlier about APIs that sometimes return 200 with errors. This is voice, so it will return you sane status codes. And there's your status completed. Fantastic. I can see that you paid a whole 2 pence, actually. Yeah. Expensive to phone a mobile. Yeah, perfect. And then you can, there's a link to where you are. Nice.
Okay, so that was quite straightforward. I'm happy with that.
I'm very impressed. I'm happy to have seen it.
There is a little bit of heavy-ish lifting involved, but that you only do once. And hopefully you're the only person doing it. So anyone after that can just put in one value at a time, set environment variables, and press the button, as Benjamin said.
Press the button, press the button. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's cool. And I think that this has really shown me some of the stuff that we have in the Postman collection that's more than read the API reference and transcribe it or import it as a quick start, which I love, by the way. The Postman supports the OpenAPI stuff that we already have because we're not publishing collections for our beta APIs, but we use them all the time. So that's awesome. But then this, with the extra wiring, the auth is already set up, the environment variables are there. We can start to wire things together and capturing the response from one and feeding it into the next. Beautiful.
I'm sorry. Got sidetracked by some background noise. Hopefully we don't have mice.
Well, I did have cat, but he's gone to. He's actually not that wrong because he gets fed about 5 o'clock. So that's in 5 minutes for me. So yeah, that is about right. Is there anything else that you're super proud of in this collection that you want to show off? Or does anyone have any questions for Julia about the Postman collection, or you want to get started? You need to start typing now. Now Julia can answer her question while you do that. Anything else you want to show us?
I think that was it. I mean, we did do similar things throughout other APIs, but the voice API is the one that it gets a little tricky with authentication.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely this pre-request script was the part that I was quite happy with, that it was possible to do.
Yeah, this was, I
But
did not expect this to be here. This is awesome.
So I'm really happy that we can make other requests in the pre-request script, because what this create an outbound call is basically is 3 requests made one after the other, but the end user just provides credentials and phone numbers and an action and presses send, without having to create the application and generate a JWT. So I think that solves a lot of issues, because even back when we were going to hackathons and interacting with people, it was quite often the case that this concept of creating the voice application and having to generate the JWT was what tripped most people up at the beginning. So taming that couple of steps down a bit is definitely helpful. But I'm excited to see what other things we could implement in there. So if anyone has any suggestions, if what else we can do, or any features you particularly like about Postman, or nifty tips and tricks, I would definitely like to hear about it.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. And if you want to find out more about it, then I've just linked your link again in chat, the introductory blog post where we introduced the collection and then linked out to it as well. And there's a page that is linked from that blog on the developer portal just to get you going. I think it's a really nice way of getting on board with new APIs. So yeah, we did, for a long time, we did not have a Postman collection, and yeah, there's another link there to the details. This page also shows you how to import the OpenAPI stuff. I'm super happy that we did this, and that I actually learned loads today, because I had not seen the console stuff before for Postman either. So that's really nice to see that and to be able to debug that, because I was stood here going, oh, how do I know what it sent? You press the console button. So if anyone didn't know that, that's a win. And I also hadn't really looked in detail at the wiring that you had added to the voice API. I think I tested it, like I used it, but I didn't really get into the details. So it was really nice to drill into that and to have you show us around today. So yay, thanks.
Well, thank you, Lorna, for first of all, I think piquing my interest in Postman, because I've heard about it before, but up until a couple of months ago, I haven't been a heavy Postman user. But that definitely changed as of lately.
Mm-hmm.
And today was indeed quite interesting in a way that about 2 to 3 times when I wasn't sure how to do something and was thinking about how to go around that, oh, there's a button for it. So thank you, Postman, for that.
Yeah.
It really was an intuitive experience. So although there were many things that could have gone wrong, it was quite nice interacting with the platform. So super happy about that.
Yeah, there are some platforms that you get on stream and realize they're maybe not everything you thought they were. But I feel like Postman was very much on our side today, which is really nice. Yes, our Lemmy was taking notes, so I feel like we've done a little bit of user research, but that's fine. We're friends of Postman. I love that you deployed as a new interface to demo in the middle. That genuinely added to my enjoyment today. That was cool. And we'll look into what we did with the scripts and how to republish that, because there's definitely something there that I feel like we definitely haven't quite got all of that. So that's awesome. But no, this was cool. And like I said, I think we kind of said earlier, this is a low code hour, but actually to get started with the APIs, especially now you've written some code that we can then all reuse without to look at, this is a nice quick start, whether you code or not. And we know that it's being used internally by a bunch of product people, but I hope that it's also useful externally. And I'm enjoying hearing people tell us how they're getting on with it.
Oops, I'm just going to quickly pull that up. Thank you, Lorna. I realized the chat isn't going through on video, so for posterity's sake, that's how people can find it. And yeah, so I was thinking about apologizing for taking this low-code hour and making it not so low-code hour. But then again, we keep using tools like Node-RED or Zapier. Well, yes, using the packages is a low-code or no-code experience, but behind that there is the work that goes into it, which is very much not low-code. So I think, well, I hope it's interesting for people to see what goes into that. So if you'd like to see more of that, then let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed seeing you showing, and if people didn't see this, they should check the YouTube channel to catch up. I enjoyed you showing how to develop a module for Node-RED, because like you say, there's code and it's part of, you produce the no-code experience, but actually showing how, the code behind the scenes and how that works. As a coder, I found that really interesting.
Thank you. I'm hoping to go into that direction a bit more in the future. So hopefully people find that interesting as well.
Well, I loved it. So then you should do just the stuff I love. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then I can just, chill out and watch it.
Or, you can always come back and join me again. You're always welcome.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Yeah, we said at the beginning, this is Julia's show, the Low Code Hour. She's here every other Wednesday. But on the other Wednesdays, I do a developer drop-in. So that's where you can bring your questions and comments, and I'll usually try and show you something or answer some questions that I've seen in the wild in the week. So my plan is that next Wednesday I'll be back with, I'm going to cover Reports API. That's a new offering for us. And I think it's got a lot of potential for all sorts of different customers. So I'm going to try and show off the stuff that you can do with Reports API. Some of it's synchronous, some of it's asynchronous. You need to auth to download the reports. It's worth seeing it. But I think that's going to be a really important part of anyone's integration. So that's my plan for next Wednesday, when it will be me on my show instead of me on Julia's show.
And I'll be here in the chat. And in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be back with the Low Code Hour, this time with a full-on low-code topic. And we're going to talk to the head of DevRel at N8N, who's going to show us around their low-code platform. And we're going to explore it and see how it looks like with a little bit more of a guidance than we had the first time around. So if that's something that you find interesting, then in 2 weeks' time, 3 p.m. GMT. And I forgot how that converts to Eastern, since we went back an hour or so.
No, still 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific.
Well, thank you, Lorna. Also, thank you so much for joining me today, and for piquing my interest in Postman. So thank you for everything, and hope you had a good time.
I did. It's been super fun. This has just been incredibly fun, because I kind of had this idea. We had a hack week. I wanted to have a play with the Postman thing, maybe like import and save it. And then you kind of came in and did a bunch of stuff that wasn't on my radar. And it's just been loads of fun. We've written blog posts. Now we're streaming about it. It's been epic. I'm having a lovely time.
Well, thank you everyone for joining. I think we're going to leave it at that for today. Have a good rest of your day and see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.